When you think about the world's greatest mysteries, a few names come to mind: Atlantis, Area 51, the Bermuda Triangle. But there's one mystery that has defeated historians, cryptographers, intelligence agencies, and even modern artificial intelligence. A book. A single book that has existed for more than 600 years. A book written in a language that nobody can read. A book filled with strange plants that don't exist. Bizarre astronomical diagrams. And pages of text that seem meaningful but remain completely undeciphered. And perhaps the strangest part? Some of the smartest people on Earth have spent decades trying to crack its code. They all failed. This is the story of the Voynich Manuscript, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why many people believe it may be the most mysterious book ever created. The story begins in 1912. A rare book dealer named Wilfred Voynich was searching through an old Jesuit college near Rome when he stumbled upon something unusual. Hidden among hundreds of ancient texts was a mysterious manuscript unlike anything he had ever seen. The book was thick, handwritten, covered in strange illustrations, and filled with a completely unknown writing system. Voynich immediately realized he had found something extraordinary. The manuscript would eventually become known by his name, the Voynich Manuscript. At first, historians assumed someone would eventually identify the language. After all, scholars can read Egyptian hieroglyphics, ancient Greek, Latin, and even long-forgotten languages. But the Voynich manuscript was different. Nobody recognized a single word, not one. Over a century later, that hasn't changed. The manuscript contains roughly 240 pages. Every page is packed with text, thousands upon thousands of characters. At first glance, it looks like a real language. Words repeat in patterns. Sentences appear structured. The symbols follow consistent rules. This isn't random scribbling. In fact, computer analysis has shown that the text behaves similarly to genuine human languages, which creates a huge problem. If it's meaningless, why does it look so meaningful? And if it's meaningful, why can't anyone read it? Carbon dating later revealed that the parchment was created sometime in the early 1400s. That means the manuscript is over 6 centuries old. For comparison, this book was already ancient before Christopher Columbus sailed to America, yet its secret remains intact. The text alone would make the manuscript famous, but it's the illustrations that make it truly bizarre. Researchers generally divide the book into several sections. The first contains plants, hundreds of them. The problem? Most of them don't appear to exist. Some resemble real plants. Others look like impossible combinations of multiple species fused together. Imagine taking parts of a rose, a sunflower, and an oak tree and combining them into a single illustration. That's what many of these drawings look like. If the manuscript is some kind of herbal guide, then why don't the plants exist? And if they're fictional, why were they drawn with such detail? No one knows. Things get even stranger. Another section appears dedicated to astronomy. The pages contain stars, circular diagrams, moons, and symbols resembling zodiac signs. Researchers have identified images connected to constellations like Taurus and Pisces, but mixed among them are symbols and diagrams that don't match any known astronomical system. It's as if the author understood certain aspects of medieval astronomy while simultaneously describing something completely different. Some have suggested the manuscript contains forgotten scientific knowledge. Others think it may describe an entirely unique worldview. Whatever the truth is, these pages only deepen the mystery. Then comes perhaps the strangest section of all. Throughout dozens of pages, small women appear inside elaborate systems of tubes, pools, and strange containers. Many seem to be bathing in green liquid. Others stand inside structures that resemble pipes or biological systems. The illustrations are so unusual that researchers still debate what they're supposed to represent. Are they medical diagrams, religious symbolism, an early attempt to explain human anatomy? Nobody agrees. And that's part of what makes the manuscript so fascinating. Every answer seems to create even more questions. As news of the manuscript spread, some of the world's greatest minds became obsessed with solving it. Professional cryptographers analyzed the text. Linguists studied every symbol. Historians searched for clues about its origins. Nothing worked. Then World War II arrived, and with it came some of the greatest code breakers in history. These were people who helped crack enemy communications during wartime. experts capable of breaking incredibly sophisticated ciphers. Many believed that if anyone could solve the Voynich Manuscript, it would be them. They couldn't. The manuscript defeated them all. Decades passed. New technologies emerged. Computers joined the investigation. The result remained the same. No solution, no translation, no breakthrough, just silence. One of the biggest mysteries is the identity of the author. No name appears anywhere in the manuscript, no signature, no clear indication of who created it. Over the years, countless candidates have been proposed. Some researchers believe it was written by a medieval scholar attempting to record secret knowledge. Others suggest it was created by an alchemist, a physician, or even a member of a hidden intellectual society. One theory points toward the famous philosopher Roger Bacon. Another suggests the manuscript originated in northern Italy. But none of these ideas have been proven. The author's identity remains unknown, and that mystery only adds to the legend. Of course, there is another possibility. What if the manuscript is simply a hoax? What if someone created an elaborate fake hundreds of years ago? At first, this seems reasonable. After all, people have forged artifacts throughout history. But there are problems with this theory. Creating hundreds of pages of convincing fake text would require an incredible amount of effort. The writing follows patterns, statistical structures, and rules. It behaves too much like a genuine language. And remember, the manuscript was created in the early 1400s. If it is a hoax, then someone invested years of work into a project that produced no obvious reward. That's difficult to explain. Not impossible, but difficult. Surely artificial intelligence can solve it, right? After all, modern AI can translate languages, analyze enormous datasets, and identify patterns invisible to humans. Yet even AI has struggled. Researchers have used machine learning models to search for hidden structures within the text. Some claimed brief breakthroughs. Others suggested links to existing languages. But none of these findings have achieved scientific consensus. The manuscript remains unreadable, which is astonishing when you think about it. Human experts failed, computers failed, artificial intelligence failed. The book continues to keep its secrets. But what if we're asking the wrong question? Most people assume the manuscript must mean something. What if it doesn't? What if the greatest mystery isn't hidden knowledge, lost science, or secret codes? What if the real mystery is why someone created it in the first place? Imagine spending years writing hundreds of pages in a language nobody could understand, drawing plants that don't exist, designing diagrams nobody can interpret, creating one of the most confusing books in human history. Why? What was the purpose? Who was the audience? Was it meant to be read at all? Those questions may be even harder to answer than translating the text itself. More than 600 years have passed since the Voynich Manuscript was created. Empires have risen and fallen. Entire civilizations have transformed. Humanity has landed on the moon, built the internet, and created artificial intelligence. Yet this single book remains unsolved, locked behind a wall of symbols that nobody can understand. Maybe one day, someone will finally crack the code. Maybe the answer is sitting in the manuscript right now, waiting for the right person to notice it. Or maybe the Voynich Manuscript will remain what it has always been, one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in human history. A book that nobody can read, and a secret that refuses to die.